evening, everyone. So yes, oh my god, look at my face. Anyway, sorry. I'm just noticing my own face. You probably don't mind, but like part of me does. Anyway, I just finished this book, Dark Destiny by Kristin Feehan. Now I remember why I liked this book so much, and that it was technically the first book that I fell in love with in the series. It was either this one or Dark Curse, and I can't remember which one, but it was either. But like, I remember why I liked this audiobook so much, and why I said it was technically one of my favorites. So yes, it is late, it is 9:12, and I'm gonna try and make this a fast review because, let's put that down, so I'm a little freer because of my next book that I'm reading, and I want to kind of, actually I'm not going to start reading it. I don't know if I'll start reading it tonight, but I am just glad to have finished Dark Destiny. And I actually enjoyed this book. I identify with Destiny, that's her name, on a bunch of levels of her. I've never been as traumatized in my childhood as she was. She was, you know, taken by a vampire and, you know, had to deal with all these atrocities of like just watching stuff, and she was abused in a bunch of ways, and, you know, she had to deal with this since she was a 6-year-old. So no, I don't identify her as like kind of that, but I do identify on a few of the levels where it's like, you know, I have anxiety, and it's more like situational anxiety. I don't have anxiety all the time, but I do have anxiety. Whereas Destiny, her anxiety is like kind of like off the charts kind of way. And she's extremely insecure about herself, whereas I also feel a certain insecurity about myself as well. So, you know, I can identify with stuff that Kristin made Destiny into. Yeah, I enjoyed Destiny again. I enjoyed as much as I did last time. Destiny was a great character. She was like she was extremely flawed, unlike all the previous heroines. Like, Destiny was so extremely flawed. Like, she felt she was a flaw as well. So I enjoyed this. It's refreshing when the heroine is not like, she's got like a 60% perfection kind of thing, whereas Destiny has like a 90% flawed personality and sense of self and all of that. I gotta put my hair. But as, you know, the story progresses, she starts feeling better about herself. Her personality of like kind of her truer nature, you know, comes out. But what she has become, the vampire took her at age of 6, and just throughout her entire life, it's just, and the mental interaction with Nikolai, there we go, a little bit better, molded her into the warrior that she is, which is very frowned upon in Carpathian society, especially at this time when they're basically a dying species. But she was a very flawed warrior, and she's hunter. That's what she is. That's what it is, because she hunts the vampire. So as the story progresses, she becomes a more balanced, happy hunter, and feeling less flawed with herself. You know, like, they are trying to figure out a way that, I'm trying not to tell you a whole lot of like spoiler-ish. You have to read the book to find out a bunch of stuff. But yeah, stuff progresses and she becomes a better person, and she just feels less guilty about herself, and just, I love the progression this character goes on. Like, she is so, like, she pushes everything away from her because she feels like she is a super flawed person, and sometimes, like, she just feels like she's a monster. So she doesn't want any of the goodness near her. But, you know, once Nikolai finds her, you know, things was just, you know, yeah. And my feelings about Nikolai, I can't pronounce it right, but my feelings about Nikolai are the same as Destiny. He is actually a really great male Carpathian. The fact that when we initially meet him, because at first we only meet him by like mentally talking with Destiny, and so we don't really get to see his character a lot. But other than what is sort of, she sensed male amusement, and like it just sort of little stuff like that, like stuff that you could hear in his voice or not in his voice when he talked to her mentally. But then when we meet him, well, okay, hold on, let me back up again. When she first made, like, blasted out, apparently, he was the one who initially made contact with her, and throughout her life, it basically shaped Nikolai into whom we meet in the book. And like, once he eventually catches up to her, this is the man that she kind of molded him into. She didn't change him a whole lot, but with him so merged with her and just merged is the only word, it changes him from the typical males, Carpathian males that we meet, where they're very like, no, you're gonna stay at home, we're gonna fuck, you're just gonna stay home, you're not gonna do anything dangerous, I love your personality, but you know, no, you're kind of a silly woman, you're just gonna stay home and all that, you're gonna make babies, you're gonna make life mates for the rest of my like the rest of our species and all that junk. That's quite a bit of the male arrogance with our previous males. Not all of them. As I've said, I have loved a few of them. They've been very good, but a majority of them have had that mentality. So it's very refreshing for when we finally meet Nikolai that he has, what's the word? In terms of being a Carpathian male, he's had a huge growth. But there is still that, you know, arrogance of like, I don't want you, when he finally catches up to her, it's like, I don't want you fighting the vampire, I really don't want you in danger, and you know, I can't stop you from fighting because I realize that yes, I kind of bred you into a hunter, but you know, when you're in danger, you have to call me. But, you know, she doesn't because, like, she believes in her skills and believes, you know, that, you know, Nikolai made her, you know, this is what he did for her, and she wants to prove to him that she is a good hunter and all that stuff. So, even though it's still there, it's like a 10 to 25% of that arrogant Carpathian male kind of thing, but a good majority of him is very understanding, especially with the fact that she is a traumatized woman and she's basically stopped talking, even though like they had that mental mind merged thing. He still knew her, he still felt all the atrocities that happened to her. She basically had stopped talking, and so it's, yeah, okay, I lost my train of thought there, but Nikolai was a great Carpathian male. I love the fact that he was a fresh take on the Carpathian male, and like now I remember where I left off, but I was going on a trail that like I kind of lost. But I love the fact that he is completely understanding of her super anxiety, let's call that, and the trauma she feels, and like the internal trauma, like this is going on, like a supernatural abuse that she feels and that he completely understands, and it's great. I love it because it's like, as I said, I identify with it. And there are certain situations where it comes up as like, wow, I kind of have the same situation with my own boyfriend, where he's like understanding and tries to help and, you know, calm me down and do all that kind of stuff, which is great, and I love it. Now, there are some parts in there where it's like, you dumb Carpathian, arrogant male. And he does, they're small scenes, but they're like, Nikolai, like, I just, you know, palm your do this and just shake your head and all that stuff. I think he does it like twice, at least twice. I know there's one big scene where it's like, it's not, okay, maybe not a huge thing, but it's like one prominent scene where he does something and it's like, seriously, why did you do that, you idiot? That's what I kept saying in my head, like, you are an idiot. And Destiny was saying that too. But like in the end, it's like some weird, like, okay, I understand, but really, you should not have done that. And it's really, the only one that really goes through like a change or a growth is Destiny. Nikolai does it like a very small amount, but he's already done that change since she was 6 years old, and like the progression through her, I don't know what's going on, but the progression through her life did change him in a good way. So, yeah. And the plot line of this story is twofold. There's kind of two things going on here, and I think there usually always is a two-story going on, but like there's always a vampire plot. But this story, like you had like two defined type of plot lines going on. You've got the whole vampire thing and the abuse that happened to her from the vampire as a child. And so now, like something really big happens with her and the vampires, and it's an interesting thing that happens, and it's because of the supernatural stuff inside her. And then there's the more human aspect of it, and it involves like these, she kind of settles in this town, and though she did not and like put herself near all these people, she eventually starts making friends with these people, and like something sinister starts happening, and it actually has been happening for kind of a long while, like involving like her humans. It's literally what she refers to them, and a lot of Carpathians refer to them as like, these are my humans, they are under my protection, they are my friends, this is my group, this is my people, this is my family. So yeah, and that was one of the more interesting story plot lines that has happened, and I have to say, in this storyline, and I really liked it. I liked how it involved, like, this book was shown, like, it showed all the types of like abuse and violence that can happen in a relationship or a family. And then like I'm reading the second to last chapter, was chapter 19, sorry. And there's a small scene that happens within like a big kind of fight thing, and it's like, no way, no. And it blew my mind, this little scene within a bigger scene, and it's just, wow. I loved it, and it was probably supposed to be very heart-wrenching, and I'm like, this was really good. I was a little, but it wasn't as dramatic as I think maybe it should have been. But oh my god, it was an amazing little snitch, little thing there, and it just blew my mind, and it was just perfect. It was amazing. I loved it. Oh my god, you gotta read it, okay? You have really got to read Destiny, or Dark Destiny by Kristin Feehan. This, if you're not so into this series, or like if you've, like me, started at the beginning and have like read every single thing in order, and you're like, I'm not liking this. This is like some of these are not really great. Read Destiny, and I'm sure like either you will fall in love with this series completely, or it's like it will keep you on the trail to read, like, okay, this was actually a really fantastic book. There has to be other ones like this. And technically there are, because Dark Curse, actually that was my, I don't know. It was Dark Curse and Dark Destiny that was really close together, that I can't remember which one was first, but like Dark Curse was another one that I fell in love with, and I vaguely remember that like the male was like, oh my god, an uber dominant type of male, but uber dominant type of male, but it was like a great story, and the characters were great too. And then you know my absolute favorite, Dark Slayer. God, that's actually the book after Dark Curse. And it was beautiful, it was perfect. So, if you read this, definitely read Curse and Slayer. I don't know about the other ones because I haven't gotten there yet. This is the number I'm at, which I don't know what that is. Oh, that's why I had that up. Yes, so, and if it doesn't entice you to read the rest of the series, I hope if you do read this, you just think this is a really enjoyable standalone book that you can read. Because you don't have to read any of the books. Like, you can go into any book, like, literally. I went into Dark Destiny / Dark Curse without knowing the whole story, and I'm like, I love this. I want to read more. And I did read more, and I have been reading more. So please, I recommend this book. I recommend it hard because this relationship progression, like the relationship in the whole and its progression, and like the story / plotline was really good, and just her writing was really good in this. Though the way she describes certain things are a little off to me. It just feels like it doesn't feel real, but like, you know, it's a paranormal, supernatural type of book, so anyway. Just the story, the relationship in this was really good. I enjoyed it and I recommend it. Now we're on to the book, my next book, which is a library book. And there's only one reason why I'm reading it. So, a long while ago, I watched the original It by Stephen King movie. And that was kind of freaky. And I only remembered bits and pieces of it. And I completely merged another movie in with that movie because I thought there was a whole completely different scene, and yeah. And then I think in the last 2 years, like 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, I can't remember the date, but I'll link both the IMDb's down there, but they did not necessarily a remake, because the Tim Curry one was basically, it was just part 2 of the story, so it just mainly focused on the adult half. Whereas this new one, we have the first part of the story, which is the children, and literally at the end of the movie, I watched it, yes, I watched it, and at the end of it, I can't remember if it was at the end of the credits or at literally the end of the last movie scene, and before the credits, it said Chapter 1. So there's gonna be a second movie, which I have no idea how they're gonna title it, because this doesn't say It Chapter 1 or like It Part or It 1 or whatever, but there's gonna be a second movie. So yeah. And then part of me is like, I need to read this book, because yes, originally it's a book. And this new movie, it's not really a remake, like, because the second movie is going to actually be more of a remake, whereas this one, actually I think they melded them together. I don't know if they melded the Tim Curry movie, they melded part 1 and part 2 together, because it kind of I don't really know, but anyway, this new movie was super uber scary. It was like, oh my god, this cloud is fucking scary. Yes. And then, like, I need to watch the Tim Curry one because it's been a while since I watched it, and I have a weird sense that I might have mixed it up with a different movie or something like that, as I said before. So I watched it again, and I was right. I mixed it up with a different movie. Like, I mashed the two together because the ending of it was like, I do not remember this. So anyway, it was somewhere in the middle of watching the newer one, and I'm like, I need to read the book. So I put it on hold and picked it up yesterday. Here it is. It by Stephen King. This is my next book. This is my next book. Look at that fucking thing. It's fucking huge, okay? Oh my god. I'm nuts. I am nuts because if I thought the movie was scary, like the Tim Curry one was, yeah, it was kind of scary. It was kind of spooky. The newer one, oh my god. Oh my god, like the Georgie and Pennywise scene, oh my god, like the Georgie Pennywise drain scene, the sewer, no, Georgie Pennywise and the boat scene, That paper boat. Oh my good love and Lord. That was like literally the first scene of the newer movie. Oh my god, I clutched my chest and it was like everything inside me tightened from that scene, and it was nuts. It was fucking scary. Oh my god, why do I want to read it? Okay, I have an overactive imagination, and the movie, it's terrifying. Oh my god, I am insane. Okay, insane, not just for the fact that this is huge. Insane because this is a scary book. This is like a horror book. I don't know what they categorize this as, but this is a scary book, okay? It's a scary book, but I'm gonna read it because I need to read it. I like reading, like, I keep saying like too much, movies that are based on a book, and I want to see where their origin is at. So that's why I read the Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, because the movie was coming out, and also sort of the same thing, you know, with Ready Player One, the Narnia. So yeah, this thing. I have 10% battery, so I'm going to read the back of this. I don't know if I'm going to start reading it tonight. Hopefully it's not a scary scene. To the children, the town was their whole world. To the adults, knowing better, Derry, Maine was just their hometown. Familiar, well-ordered, a good place to live. It was the children who saw and felt what made Derry so horribly different. In the storm drains, in the sewers, it lurked, taking on the shape of every nightmare, each person's deepest dread. Sometimes it reached up, seizing, tearing, killing. The adults, knowing better, knew nothing. Actually, they know, but they choose to ignore it. Time passed and the children grew up, moved away. The horror of it was buried deep, wrapped in forgetfulness, until the grown-up children were called back once more to confront it, as it stirred and coiled in the sullen depths of their memories, reaching up again to make their past nightmares a terrible present reality. Frightening, epic, and brilliant, Stephen King's It is one of the greatest works of a true storytelling master. Oh my good loving Lord. I keep looking up because I'm checking on the time. Oh lovely! Look at all this! So we've got a part 1, a part 2, a part 3. There's 5 parts. Oh my god. What is all of this? I don't kind of get any of this. Alright, so we've got a part 1 with a chapter 1, and this stuff here, like, that are numbered, it's weird what he numbers. Like, hold on, see? So I don't really get those, but they happen. And I can't tell, like, really how many chapters there officially are, so I can't tell you that. Okay, actually I can. There are 23 official chapters, split up between 5 parts. And apparently there's supposed to be an excerpt of Sleeping Beauties, which is a co-joined author telling by Stephen King and Owen King. Maybe that's father and son, I don't know. Yeah, 2 pages there. Thank you. Oh, there is an epilogue. Okay, so we've got 24 chapters. Did it even say that? Yes, there is. Okay, but that's weird. There are 24 chapters. Look at all this. This is extra stuff. This is the entire book. What am I getting into? So yeah, this is the end of my book review. I hope you liked it, and you can hit the like button if you want. And if you've read the Dark series, tell me which one you like. If you've read this Dark Destiny, please let me know in the comments below. Just don't be nasty about it, because we don't need nastiness in the world, right? We don't. And if this is the first time you're this is the first time you're watching my videos, please hit that big subscribe button down there by my picture for more book reviews, hauls, let's plays, unboxing, and bagging, because somebody's coming, a Bulbar Manila envelope or plastic bag wrap thingy, long mystery and vlogs, and random videos. I have no idea what to categorize. Alright, please tell me why I'm reading this book. Why? Ah. And yeah, I will have a video tomorrow because I am picking up a book. Yes, I have a book to pick up, and a book I ordered. And I'm also going to buy one thing at the dollar, technically two things, but they're the same thing, that I need to kind of get. I really want to get them because I want to really do something. So yeah, it's this book, and I hope you liked this kind of longish video, but I love this book. It was a great book, and now I gotta read a scary book. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully I'll live through this. Good night, everyone.